announcing today a major show of military force in the region.
Imagine a battle unlike any other in modern naval history. A high-speed assault, waves crashing against the hulls of military giants, and the relentless clash of cutting-edge technology. This is not some far-off theoretical scenario. This is a real-world confrontation, one that could reshape the very future of naval warfare. A fleet of 45 fast attack boats, armed with deadly precision, charging toward the crown jewel of the U.S. Navy, the USS Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier. But these are not the familiar forces of an old adversary. This time, it's the military of Venezuela, a nation not traditionally associated with global naval power, yet determined to make a statement on the world stage. In a world where power at sea has been dominated by the United States for decades, what happens when a smaller, lesser-known fleet launches an audacious attack? How do the advanced defense systems of the USS Gerald R. Ford, one of the most sophisticated warships ever built, respond to this unprecedented onslaught? The Venezuelan boats are fast, agile, and armed with cutting-edge technology, but they face a truly formidable opponent. As the attack begins, the USS Gerald R. Ford's crew springs into action, deploying an arsenal of weaponry and using the most advanced radar and electronic warfare systems ever created. But will these high-tech defenses be enough to withstand the swarm of speedboats closing in at full force? This battle isn't just about brute strength. It's a test of strategy, technology, and the ability to adapt in real time. How will the U.S. Navy manage to counter the sheer unpredictability of the Venezuelan tactics? With missiles flying, jets streaking through the sky, and the vast ocean playing a deadly game of cat and mouse, the stakes could not be higher. The outcome could have massive implications not only for military strategy, but for global geopolitics. From the moment the first boat is spotted on radar, to the final moment when one side must concede defeat, this is a battle of nerves, technology, and tactics. The USS Gerald R. Ford, an aircraft carrier designed to project power and maintain dominance over vast oceans, now faces an unrelenting challenge. The attackers, though outgunned, are relentless, using speed and precision to punch above their weight. In this video, we'll break down the strategies and technology involved in this high-stakes confrontation. From the fast boats attacking in swarms, to the U.S. Navy's most advanced defenses, to the tactical moves made in the heat of battle, this is a confrontation you won't want to miss. We'll examine how the clash unfolds in real time, analyzing every move, every decision, and every moment of intensity. Will the Venezuelan boats manage to breach the defenses of the U.S. Navy? Or will they be forced to retreat? What happens when technology meets speed? And what is the real cost of such an unprecedented confrontation? This is more than just a naval skirmish. It's a glimpse into the future of warfare, where speed, technology, and adaptability rule the day. Stay tuned to find out who comes out on top in this monumental clash at sea. The battle begins with a sudden and overwhelming assault from the Venezuelan Navy. At 300 hours, a fleet of 45 fast attack boats, each one equipped with advanced stealth technology, speeds toward the USS Gerald R. Ford. These boats, designed for rapid strikes and quick retreats, move in a synchronized swarm, resembling a well-coordinated pod of predatory creatures. Each boat is armed with a combination of long-range anti-ship missiles, high-powered torpedoes, and surface-to-air rockets, capable of overwhelming the defenses of even the most advanced warships. The first wave of boats arrives just before dawn, exploiting the cover of darkness to mask their movements. With an impressive operational range of over 500 nautical miles, the Venezuelan fleet was able to approach undetected by traditional radar systems, thanks to their use of newly developed stealth coatings that reduce radar cross-sections. This technological advantage allows them to close the distance rapidly without alerting the USS Gerald R. Ford's early warning systems until it's almost too late. The boats are fast, capable of reaching speeds upwards of 80 knots, far faster than the average speed of traditional naval vessels in the region. This makes them difficult to target, especially in the chaotic environment of a rapidly evolving naval battle. As the first boat nears the perimeter of the USS Gerald R. Ford's defense systems, The crew on board the aircraft carrier is thrown into a state of alert. The watch officer on the bridge, a seasoned veteran of multiple deployments, notices the radar blip, but dismisses it as a false positive at first. However, as the number of boats rapidly increases, the alarm is sounded. The ship's automated systems begin tracking the incoming boats, highlighting their trajectory in a holographic display on the bridge. Seconds feel like hours as the crew scrambles to respond. The USS Gerald R. Ford, the crown jewel of the U.S. Navy, is equipped with some of the most advanced defensive systems ever conceived. The ship's Aegis combat system, designed to defend against a range of threats from ballistic missiles to fast-moving surface targets, is immediately activated. The ship's Phalanx close-in weapon system, a last line of defense against incoming missiles and boats, begins to whirl to life, its radar locking onto the closest threats. But despite these cutting-edge technologies, the Venezuelan boats employ a unique strategy that complicates the American defense. Rather than attacking as individual units, the boats operate in coordinated formations, attacking from multiple angles simultaneously. This tactic, reminiscent of swarm warfare seen in some of the most advanced military doctrines of the 21st century, seeks to overwhelm the ship's defense systems. The boats are not only targeting the Gerald R. Ford's hull, but are instead aiming for weak points, such as its radar and sensor arrays. This tactic is not only audacious but also strategically effective. The idea is to disable or destroy the ship's ability to track and engage incoming threats, rendering the defenses impotent in the face of a larger assault. As the boats close in, the USS Gerald R. Ford deploys its electronic warfare systems, jamming enemy radar and communications in an attempt to disrupt the Venezuelan fleet's coordination. However, the Venezuelan Navy has prepared for this countermeasure. In a move that surprises U.S. intelligence, the boats use an encrypted communication system based on a recently developed quantum encryption protocol, one that the U.S. Navy has not yet fully decoded. This new communication technology allows the Venezuelan boats to maintain coordination without fear of being intercepted or jammed. The boats' attacks become more precise, each strike landing closer to the USS Gerald R. Ford's defensive perimeter. In response to the escalating threat, the U.S. Navy orders the deployment of 2 FA-18 Super Hornet jets stationed on the carrier. These jets are armed with precision-guided munitions, capable of striking the fast-moving boats from the air with deadly accuracy. As the jets take off, they quickly engage the boats, firing long-range anti-ship missiles. But the Venezuelan fleet's evasive tactics prove effective once again. Many of the boats employ decoys, creating confusion and forcing the jets to fire their missiles into empty ocean. The remainder of the boats scatter, making it difficult to target multiple threats at once. The scene turns into a chaotic dance of missiles, aircraft, and boat swarms, each side trying to gain the upper hand. The Venezuelan strategy of coordinated attack, coupled with their technological innovations, forces the USS Gerald R. Ford to shift into full combat mode. Despite the overwhelming odds, the ship's crew remains focused, using every tool at their disposal to fight back. The situation is dire, but the true scale of the attack is only beginning to unfold. The USS Gerald R. Ford will have to rely on its advanced defensive systems, the skill of its crew, and its ability to adapt to the unpredictable nature of this high-speed, high-stakes conflict, if it hopes to survive the initial assault. As the first wave of Venezuelan attack boats rushes in, the USS Gerald R. Ford's crew springs into action. The air is thick with tension, and every second counts as the aircraft carrier begins its immediate defensive response. At the heart of the carrier's defense system is the Aegis combat system, a sophisticated multi-function radar and missile defense system capable of tracking over 1,000 targets simultaneously. The crew has rehearsed these kinds of scenarios many times, but the speed and scale of the assault are unlike anything they've faced before. The radar system locks onto the fast-moving boats, instantly calculating their trajectory and speed. Despite the carrier's advanced defense capabilities, the Venezuelan boats, with their newly upgraded stealth coatings and high-speed engines, pose a significant challenge. The USS Gerald R. Ford's radar can track the boats, but they are able to close the distance much faster than expected. To make matters worse, the boats use a highly advanced jamming system that disrupts the frequency of the carrier's radar, causing delays in missile targeting. The electronic warfare unit on the carrier is quickly activated, attempting to re-establish control over the ship's sensors. The crew knows that if they fail to regain control, the incoming boats will strike before the carrier can properly defend itself. As the boats approach, the Phalanx close-in weapon system comes online, its automated guns swiveling into position. This system, designed for last-ditch defense, is capable of firing thousands of rounds per minute to intercept incoming threats, such as missiles and small boats. However, the speed and unpredictability of the Venezuelan attack force make it difficult for the CIWS to lock onto individual targets. The boats are too numerous, their movement erratic, and their range too close for the CIWS to effectively neutralize all threats at once. It's a race against time, as the Phalanx begins firing bursts of ammunition, but many of the boats manage to evade the rapid fire. At this moment, the USS Gerald R deploys its aerial response. Two FA-18 Super Hornet fighter jets, stationed on the carrier, are scrambled into action. These highly maneuverable jets are equipped with advanced air-to-ground precision missiles designed to take out enemy surface targets from high altitude. The jets are launched into the early morning sky, their engines roaring to life. The pilots quickly assess the situation, spotting the attack boats on their radar and initiating a series of high-speed maneuvers to avoid incoming fire from the Venezuelan boats. The Super Hornets release their payloads of anti-ship missiles, each one guided toward the heart of the Venezuelan swarm. The missiles streak through the sky with pinpoint accuracy, slamming into the sides of two fast attack boats, causing massive explosions. The air is filled with the roar of jet engines and the deafening thud of missiles detonating. Yet the swarm of boats remains relentless. Even with several of their number obliterated, the remaining boats continue their approach, using decoys to mislead the targeting systems of both the carrier's radar and the fighter jets. As the situation intensifies, the USS Gerald R. turns to its defensive countermeasures. The ship deploys a series of electronic countermeasures, which emit jamming signals to disrupt the guidance systems of the Venezuelan missiles. However, this tactic doesn't come without its own risks. The more the ship uses ECM, the more it reveals its location to enemy sensors. The Venezuelan boats, equipped with thermal imaging and advanced tracking systems, begin adjusting their positions accordingly, making it harder for the USS Gerald R. to predict their movements. The intensity of the exchange between the two forces is staggering. With the carrier's defense systems at full throttle, the battle rages on. But the complexity of the situation begins to weigh heavily on the USS Gerald R. crew. The sailors and officers are faced with the crushing weight of the situation. They must adapt to a rapidly evolving threat while utilizing every tool at their disposal to protect the ship. Amid the chaos, the real test for the Gerald R. is not just how well its technology performs, but how well its crew can make split-second decisions to neutralize the assault. Satellite and reconnaissance planes in the sky above begin transmitting crucial intelligence to the carrier's command center. The information is a game changer. Venezuelan boats are now being tracked in real time from multiple angles, providing the crew with valuable insight into their positions and likely escape routes. Yet even with this advantage, the enemy proves to be as elusive as they are relentless. As the attack enters its second phase, the Venezuelan boats are now in close proximity to the aircraft carrier, and every decision could make the difference between victory and disaster. The crew of the USS Gerald R. knows that their next actions must be precise. With each passing minute, they are forced to rethink strategies, adapt to changing circumstances, and push their technology and training to their limits. The battle is far from over, and the true test of the carrier's advanced defenses is just beginning. The response from the U.S. Navy will not just determine the fate of the Gerald R. It could very well reshape the future of naval warfare itself. As the battle reaches its boiling point, the USS Gerald R. crew is pushed to the brink. The intensity of the assault from the Venezuelan fast attack boats has now escalated to an all-out war zone, with missiles, decoys, and gunfire filling the air and the sea. The crew of the aircraft carrier is no longer just responding to the initial wave of attack. They are now fully immersed in a desperate fight for survival and dominance. The aircraft carrier's air defense systems, including its renowned Aegis combat system, continue to engage incoming threats, but the overwhelming numbers of Venezuelan boats, paired with their evasive tactics, make every minute of the battle feel like an eternity. At the forefront of the U.S. Navy's response are the F/A-18 Super Hornet fighter jets that have been launched from the carrier's flight deck. These fighters, outfitted with precision-guided munitions and anti-ship missiles, are the best hope for halting the swarm of boats that are closing in. Yet the Venezuelan forces have prepared for this very countermeasure. Intelligence reports suggest that they've developed a form of advanced countermeasure technology capable of disrupting the guidance systems of incoming missiles. These devices, mounted on the fast attack boats, send out bursts of electromagnetic pulses that interfere with the targeting systems of missiles, making it harder for the Super Hornets to maintain a lock on their targets. What was initially a precision strike now becomes a game of cat and mouse, as the jets are forced to adjust their trajectories in real time to compensate for the boat's evasive moves. Simultaneously, the USS Gerald R is forced to rely on its formidable electronic warfare capabilities. The ship's electronic warfare systems, which include jammers and decoys, are engaged in a full-scale battle of wits against the Venezuelan fleet. These electronic systems can confuse enemy radar, disrupt missile targeting, and even spoof communications. The crew has been trained for moments like this, but the level of sophistication in the enemy's tactics makes it clear that this battle is unlike any other they have faced. In a last-ditch effort to weaken the Venezuelan fleet, the Gerald R. deploys a set of advanced anti-jamming countermeasures, creating a cloud of electromagnetic interference designed to blind the incoming attack boats. But despite the efforts, the enemy's boats remain resilient, and the battle rages on. Meanwhile, the U.S. Navy's destroyers, which are part of the carrier strike group, move into position to assist in the counteroffensive. The USS Halsey and Ross, both equipped with state-of-the-art radar and missile systems, begin launching their own series of interceptors at the incoming boats. The Halsey's radar system, capable of tracking objects hundreds of miles away, locks onto the Venezuelan boats and fires a barrage of Standard Missile-6 interceptors. These advanced missiles are designed to intercept both air and surface targets, offering a powerful countermeasure against the swarm of fast-moving boats. However, with so many boats in motion, the SM-6 interceptors are spread thin, and only a few boats are taken out in the barrage. The real turning point comes when the Gerald R. Ford's onboard laser systems, known as the LAWs, come into play. These weapons, which use high-powered lasers to destroy targets, have only recently been integrated into the carrier's defense arsenal. The laser systems, designed to take out incoming missiles and small boats, are activated in response to the overwhelming number of fast attack boats swarming the ship. The lasers are capable of precision targeting, burning through the hulls of the boats with ease. The first few boats are struck, their engines instantly disabled, sending them spinning out of control. The brightness of the lasers as they strike their targets is blinding, leaving a trail of smoke and debris in their wake. Yet despite the success of the lasers, the sheer number of attacking boats continues to challenge the defenses of the Gerald R. The attack boats are relentless, zigzagging and weaving to evade the lasers, and the carrier is forced to increase the intensity of its firepower. In the midst of all this chaos, a new strategy emerges from the U.S. Navy's side. The USS Gerald R. Ford's crew begins using drone technology, deploying unmanned aerial vehicles to gather real-time intelligence and deliver pinpoint strikes. These drones, equipped with advanced targeting systems and explosives, provide a crucial advantage as they fly at lower altitudes, avoiding the worst of the electronic interference and jamming signals. They circle above the Venezuelan boats, providing a bird's-eye view of the battlefield and sending back vital information to the crew. This data allows the Navy to identify patterns in the attack boats' movements and respond more strategically. Some of the drones, equipped with anti-ship missiles, dive down to strike the Venezuelan boats directly. These UAVs, small yet lethal, managed to take out several more of the fast-moving attackers, crippling their numbers and forcing the rest of the fleet to reconsider their tactics. However, the outcome of this battle is not yet certain. Despite heavy losses, the Venezuelan fleet still holds a significant presence, and their tactics continue to evolve. The remaining boats begin to split off into smaller, faster groups, each targeting different sections of the Gerald R Ford in a bid to overwhelm the defenses. As the boats surge forward, the U.S. Navy adapts quickly, coordinating with satellites and reconnaissance planes overhead to track the boats' new paths. At this point, the battle has escalated from a naval skirmish into a high-tech, multi-layered engagement that tests the limits of both sides' technology and strategy. As the dust begins to settle and the final blows are delivered, the USS Gerald R Ford stands battered but not broken. The Venezuelan fleet, despite their initial success and innovative tactics, is forced to retreat, their numbers significantly reduced, and their remaining boats in disarray. The Gerald R Ford has sustained damage, but has managed to survive the initial assault. The battle, while won, comes at a steep cost. The U.S. Navy's advanced systems, from the Aegis combat system to the laser weapons, have proven effective, but the Venezuelan boats have demonstrated a level of ingenuity that will require future adaptations to counter. The aftermath of this battle will send shockwaves through the naval community and beyond. The tactical approaches of both sides have changed the landscape of modern naval warfare. The role of unmanned systems, electronic warfare, and laser technology has been tested in real combat, proving that the future of warfare will not just be fought with missiles and bombs, but with waves of data, precision strikes, and relentless innovation. For the Gerald R Ford and its crew, this battle is a testament to the adaptability and resilience of the U.S. Navy. But for the world at large, the lesson is clear. The rules of naval warfare are changing, and the next confrontation could look entirely different. This battle is a glimpse into the future of high-tech warfare, where the boundaries between man and machine, speed and firepower, are more blurred than ever before.